Everyone, remain calm.
Yeah, that's how it always starts. And later there's running and screaming.
Somebody talk to me! What is happening?
Welcome to Jurassic World.
You're listening to the Jurassic Park podcast.
You want to consult here or in my bungalow? Hold on to your butts.
Well, we're back.
Well, folks, it looks like our favorite Man in Black is back. No, not Will Smith or Tommy Lee Jones. And no, this has nothing to do with Westworld. I'm talking about Dr. Ian Malcolm. Jeff Goldblum has been confirmed to return to the Jurassic franchise. Right now, it's April 25th as of this recording, and The Hollywood Reporter has confirmed that Jeff Goldblum will appear in the sequel to Jurassic World. So I've brought on a few specialists to discuss that return. Let's welcome in a Chaos Theory sympathizer, Chris Lanam, and The Lost World's #1 fan, Jarrett Courtney. How you guys doing?
Wait, Chris, what's a chaos sympathizer? Okay, never mind. Guys, I gotta say, I am so excited for the I'm so excited for Jeff Goldblum being confirmed for Thor Ragnarok. I'm just so pumped. I cannot believe he's gonna be in that movie. I found that out today.
Oh yeah, that's a big one too.
No, I am
not
joking.
as big as this one for sure.
That. That was my attempt at as a cool joke. I told you I'm gonna hijack this whole thing, man. All right. So
Yeah.
I digress.
Well,
so.
the funny thing is, I had no idea there was any kind of announcement. I'm just sitting on the couch, basically half falling asleep, trying to also watch Doctor Who at the same time, catch up on the most recent episode. And Chris texts me and is like, dude, do you see this? I'm like, what? And I look online and the internet has exploded. And Jeff Goldblum is apparently in the sequel. Oh. Yeah, and then you text me, and then you're freaking out, just like OMG, OMG, constantly. And and I figured, well, let's get you guys on here to talk about this.
All right, Chris, you go first.
Yeah, what's your initial thoughts here?
Yeah, I don't. As much as I want it to be a main character role, I don't think it's going to be anything more than maybe like a short, maybe like 5 or 10 minute thing. Maybe kind of okay, he knows he's dealt with this before. Let's go to the person that knows what to do in this situation, kind of thing. But I'm hoping for maybe a secondary character with more than 10 minutes of screen time.
Yeah, that's a really good point. We don't know. I think the announcement itself had just said he's appearing in the sequel, so we don't really know what to, that extent, whether it's going to be a cameo or if he's going to be, a lead role with Chris and Bryce. We don't know that yet. What do you think, Jared?
I think any amount of Goldblum is a good amount of Goldblum. I do not care whether it is 5 seconds of him on screen. I don't care whether he's the entire movie. I am sold. I was already sold, but I am now 100% in, double down, all chips on black. Like I'm in.
Yeah.
Like I am so in. I'll tell you my little story of finding out. I was on the subway on the way home, and I'm scrolling through again, trying not to fall asleep because I had a pretty long day, and I'm scrolling through, and I'm like, wait a sec. I'm like, okay, picture Jeff Goldblum. I follow Jeff Goldblum. Like, I see pictures of Jeff Goldblum all the time.
Every day.
And I read it, and I'm like, this is fake. This has to be fake. Someone's messing with me. It can't be real. Because this is like a dream, and this is like out of nowhere. Completely out of nowhere. Listen to me. I sound like such a fanboy. I sound like all those other podcasts where they like freak out about like anything Star Wars, But like I'm such a huge Jeff Goldblum fan. Anything from Earth Girls Are Easy to was it Transylvania 65000? Like anything he's been in. Like I am such a huge fan of Jeff Goldblum. And just to, he's like, this is like the years of Goldblum coming up. And I'm thinking about it going through, and I'm sorry if I'm talking too much, but like, you know, because I'm wired right now. But he's in Thor. He's gonna be in the next Wes Anderson movie that was announced for next year. He was just in the Independence Day movie. Like he's having like another renaissance. Like he's just, I guess it's because his 21-year-old wife just had a kid, and maybe now he's like doing stuff to make money again. Like I don't know what he's doing, but he's on all these things, and it's I guess I don't know if it's because I feel like there's been a clamoring for him to do more roles, and there's just this love for Goldblum that, you know, is it is one of the strongest loves I think in the universe. And yeah. So anyway, I'm so sorry. Right.
Do you think we can call it a resurgence?
Yes. Yes. Yes,
Chris, did you get a chance to see that movie, Independence Day Resurgence?
Yeah, we saw it in theaters, and that's about all I have to say about it. So.
Oh man. You gotta take out. I'm sure Brad and I have our own opinions.
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably see it again when the third movie comes out, but.
They're making a third one?
Well,
after that flop?
After that, I don't know.
well, you know, they've got it there clearly. They want to, but whether or not they do it or not. So.
That's true. They did set it up straight.
Then again, we're getting like 6,000 Avatar sequels, and nobody wanted that. So.
I don't want
That's
that.
very true. Yeah. Oh, that's so true.
So, hey, so I'm kind of just looking through on Twitter right now, and I don't know if this person actually listens to it. I'm finding it on IGN and like the comments and everything, but Mega Jacob F, dude, you win for like the comments and everything, because it's on here saying he's going to help the escaped dinos find affordable apartments.
That's pretty good.
So
wow. Did you guys ever see, Brad, did you ever see that picture of the subway car that it went on? It had Jeff Goldblum on it?
No, I don't think so.
Oh man, I'll have to send you that at one point. It was at apartments.com, but the entire subway car was wrapped with Jeff Goldblum's face.
Oh my god, that's incredible.
And it was amazing. And I got like a perfect shot of it, of like people walking into Jeff Goldblum. It's great.
Just like wide open. Ah.
Yeah, right? Oh man, I wish it was on his mouth. That would have been amazing.
Man. I mean, with Independence Day Resurgence, I think that was a movie I initially thought, like, if you're forecasting what movies are going to do in the summer, I kind of looked at that as Jurassic World, and I'm like, this movie's going to do really well. It's got a returning cast member in Jeff Goldblum, and everybody loves him. And personally, I actually like enjoyed the movie, as crazy and dumb as it was, and I had fun with it. Yes, it's not. It wasn't for me nearly as good as the first one. I have this like super nostalgia for that first Independence Day, but I really liked it. I liked him, of course. So I don't think there's any kind of comparison between how that one turned out and maybe how this one will turn out. So
here's sorry if I'm interrupting, but here's where I'm gonna disagree with you completely. I thought it was 10 times better than the first one.
Wow, yeah. There you go. There it is.
I
there
hate
it is.
Independence Day, like with a passion. I'm sorry, it just didn't do it for me as a kid until now. It was like it wasn't schlock for me. It wasn't like corny. Like a lot of people like it because it's like it's that nostalgia, but like it's so out there. Like like all these continuity errors, but it's like who cares? It's just popcorn fun. But man, like it just did not do it for me. But Resurgence, something happened there where I think it just got so ridiculous that I just completely stopped caring. And I thought there was all these awesome little nuggets of ideas throughout the movie with like, them actually going on the ship, and like really cool world building, and the sphere thing looked kind of like typical 2001 Space Odyssey kind of, rip off, just like the aliens are kind of H.R. Giger rip offs. But I don't know. There's something about resurgence that like it was so ridiculous that I loved it.
Yeah.
And Jeff Goldblum was the main character, and I think that's what.
Well, that's what I'm
blew it away
wondering.
for me.
We don't have any inclination as to what he'll do, and Chris, you don't think he's going to do too much. So, Chris, do you think what do you think his role will be specifically?
Oof.
Don't go there.
Yeah. I don't really know. I honestly, I'd probably have to say he's going to be some sort of like consultant. I would hope that they would do like a fan service and be like, I told you guys, I told you this would happen if you keep doing this.
Yeah.
Type thing. But I definitely think he's going to be some sort of consultant. That's the reason why I'm saying he's probably only going to be in there for, maybe like 5, 10, maybe 15 minutes. I don't see him being any more than a secondary character.
Mm-hmm.
But, then again, that's what we thought with, with Dr. Wu.
Well, yeah, and that's where I was going to jump in, is that I think he's going to have, for me, I think he's going to have a, like the same amount of like screen time as Wu. Mm-hmm. I think he's going to have like the same amount of weight to the story, at least as Dr. Wu. I mean, you have Jeff Goldblum, like, I think because you have him, I think opens up a possibility for him to be a very, very, if not extremely, intricate part of the story, or, important part of the story, but at least, have some reason for being there, Yeah. I don't think they're just going to throw him in there just to do it,
Yeah, so his standpoint at this point, he has to be done with this whole thing. I can't imagine he'd want any, direct
Story-wise,
contact with anybody, that has anything to do with this park or anything. And recently, we've seen pictures from like Frank Marshall and stuff like that of like a Save the Dino campaign. It looked like it was like a picture in a school. It was like some sort of, I don't know if it was a set picture or what, but it was a released picture. And then funnily, like, what do you call it? Loot Crate did that crate a few months back or whatever it was. And it was like a Save the Dinosaur campaign kind of thing. And they actually had like Piot Michael, I think, came in and did like a Jeff Goldblum impersonation. And it was, so I don't know if like he has something to do with that, like saving dinosaurs or something, sort of how I know a lot of people have a hard time with like SeaWorld and stuff like that. Do you think there's going to be that kind of aspect to it? Chris, I know you're a big theme park guy, so what do you think about that aspect?
I definitely would assume that they'll try to do something like that. I kind of hope that they don't, because that's going to open up a whole different can of worms at that point. So, there's probably going to be something like that in there. I don't really know if he'd be an advocate for saving the dinos, especially after all the crap he went through in the first one.
Yeah, really.
So I think if there's going to be any kind of character like that and everything, I'd almost say to go towards like James Cromwell's character if he's not going to play some sort of, engine villain or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't imagine him wanting to save any kind of species here. I'm sure he just wants to just nuke the whole place.
Yeah.
Well, I don't see. This is where I disagree. Is that one of my biggest questions is that at the beginning, Colin Trevorrow or Trevorrow or however you want to pronounce his name, he say on the record that he was retconning the second.
No, he didn't.
He didn't. He never said that. I thought that was the thing he said.
No, it was just basically that they're ignoring. They're just ignoring what had happened in the. They're not mentioning it, but they're not like retconning it or anything.
But this means, so this opens up a question of, did the events of Lost World happen?
I think they have to. I don't think they're retconning it. I don't know if they'll mention it. They might not mention it at all. They might say, the incident on Nublar and not even talk about Sorna. But I'm pretty positive that it's still official canon, even though they didn't mention it or allude to it in any way, really.
Yeah, and then there's one more thing I wanted to bring up, is that what I've been hearing, and I have a friend who follows all this stuff. I don't know where exactly he got his information, I've been hearing that it's not even slated to really be a movie about a park.
Mhm.
It's more of a horror movie.
Yeah. Well, I think that comes down to the director itself, Bayona. He's more of a horror director and more of an emotional director. So I think we'll see something along those lines, you know? I don't know. You know, this is going to be a lot of people to fit in, and they've already announced a bunch of people, and adding him on, everybody's going to expect a lot. So do you guys think we should temper our excitement here and just kind of like expect
I can't
the
right
least?
now. I can't physically right now. If that's what you're asking.
Yeah. No. Will you calm down, man? You're a little bit too back off the mic, you know?
No. Listen, we have the same mic. I don't want to hear it.
I don't know.
Anyway.
I can't really temper my excitement either. I'm so pumped, and I'm gonna overhype it probably. You know, we already are. We're recording a podcast 10 minutes after the thing was announced.
Yeah, I messaged you and I'm like, yo, I'll be home in an hour. You're like, I already got somebody waiting. I'm like, are you serious? What the hell?
I kind of wonder if, because I know I've talked to a lot of people that were like, you know, they didn't care when Jurassic World came out, but they were fans of the original. So I kind of half wonder if maybe the reason why they brought him in too was to kind of bring the people that didn't really care for the first one, you know, into the new series, if that makes sense.
Oh, I think that makes a lot of sense. I think a lot of people did have a hard time and flat out hated the movie, you know, Jurassic World.
Yeah.
And,
they do, yeah.
And,
when I did I did an early screening, and half the people in the audience were like, well, that sucked. That's literally what they said. And I turned around and I said, you can F off. I said that was one of the most fun theater going experiences I've ever had.
I had a great time with it, but I think, a lot of people were, you know, dissuaded by the action elements and the glossy cast and all that stuff. So there's a lot of elements that turned off people. But now we're at the point where, like, you can't deny it. You have to go back and see it, because you would assume that a lot of that money that they raked in is going to be, you know, left on the table and nobody's going to go back to see it, the people that didn't like it. But now they kind of have to.
Well, you're saying a lot of money. It's a lot of money. It broke so many records.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
number
big
4.
deal.
Number 4 on the all-time list. Like, it is a big deal,
Yeah,
but,
well, now
but
it's
how
Fast
much of
and
that?
Furious.
How much of that was people just like, you know, oh, I wonder what it's going to be, or I can't wait to see it fail, or, you know, stuff like that. Unfortunately, that's the stuff that does happen. So I think when you bring back a new character, like you said, it's bound to rake in more of those original fans.
Absolutely, and Jeff Goldblum, I think, is just such a commodity.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Now,
and a not as well tapped one as he should be.
Yeah. Now, I know you guys are big, you know, Star Wars fans and stuff like that. And, you know, when was that? A few years ago, you know, we got The Force Awakens, and they brought back many of the characters. And, of course, you know, not to spoil it for everybody, but if you didn't see The Force Awakens, stop listening. Han Solo, you know, he died. And they brought back one of their biggest characters and killed him off.
Oh, I thought you said he died in real life. I thought this was like...
Well, no.
Not yet.
This is the announcement. No, that would be so... I would never do that.
He hasn't had a bad landing enough yet.
Oh, yes. There you go.
But
another happy landing.
In the movie, they brought him
As
back
Obi-Wan
to
would
kill
say.
him. Do you think they're going to do anything similar here? Because... you know, we seem to be in that world of nostalgia and bringing back old characters and then, you know, killing them off. Do you think that's going to happen here?
Kill Jeffy?
Yeah.
Think they're gonna kill Jeffy? I don't think
Jeffy?
I think if anybody of the old characters they seem to be bringing back, which right now is only 2 of them, I think the only one probably end up getting it in the end would be Dr. Wu.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I honestly, I think he would be the only one as far as the series is concerned that would get it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
He's
I know.
A big old jerk face.
I know. I forget who it was. I said I know, but I kind of forget the whole entire quote. But I think it was Chris Pratt said it was going to be shocking, and they're going to take it in a direction that we're not going to expect from this movie.
Mm-hmm.
So that could be a direction we don't expect. Maybe even killing off his character. To be honest, I mean,
Yeah.
he's busy. You know, he's got a lot on his plate. So I think anybody.
Yeah.
I really don't expect Jeff Goldblum to get killed off. I'm kind of with you, Chris. I think it's just going to be, you know, a cameo, and I've always said the past few years now that it's probably going to be like a news segment. He'll be shot on television and like on CNN or something, and he'll say, you know, oh, we shouldn't go back to this park, or you know, blah blah blah, whatever. But I don't know. I don't know what to expect. I don't think he's going to die, but I just wanted to toss that out there.
Yeah. I mean, and I think with Chris's character, and I have no information whatsoever, so this is just speculation. I think if they're going with that horror element, I think he could end up either like seriously injured at the, you know, to the point of like being in a coma or something, or killed off, because he's got like 7 movies that he's working on, and that's not including the 46 that he's going to be as a, you know, Star-Lord for Marvel.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Hey.
I mean.
Hey, they're both part of the Marvelverse now, huh? How about that?
Yeah, look at that. So
Yeah.
I need to have a dinosaur in there somehow.
It's gonna be a thing if you're not in the instead of like winning an Oscar, it's now if you're not in a Marvel movie, you're not in a Marvel movie or a Star Wars movie, you're out, because Laura
Exactly.
Dern is gonna be in Star Wars. So
And isn't Sam Neill going to be in Thor 2? I think he or for Thor 3 actually, but I'm pretty sure he's going to be in it too.
oh, maybe I did hear something about that. I know what's his face, Carl Urban is.
Okay.
Carl
Yeah.
Urban's in it, and he's another one of my favorite actors.
Oh,
My
I gotta-
favorite underutilized actors. What's that?
I'm gonna look on the movie database right now and see.
Yeah, at IMDb.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, just from and not, I hope I'm not changing the subject too much, but just from seeing that first image that they showed, and it said Lucy or whatever, that's the name of the character or whatever.
Yeah.
That first image, you could just tell that this movie is going to be so much darker than the original, like less glossy, more gritty. Like this is just me just saying stuff, but I just expect something more gritty, more horror element. Like you said, he's more of a horror director. He's more of an emotional director, which thank God, because I think that was something that was really missing in Jurassic World, was the emotion. It was a lot of fun, but I didn't feel a lot of emotion, I guess, in the characters. They seemed, you know, stiff to me, and I think that's quite a common complaint, I think, for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But if I'm wrong, tell me. But I don't know. I'm very excited. Anyway. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well-
what would the IMDb say?
Yeah.
He's in there, but it doesn't have his character name listed.
Sam Neill is in Thor. Okay.
Yeah.
I did hear about it. And Sylvester Stallone is in Guardians.
Yeah. It's looking to be like
yeah.
everybody has to be in every movie now, every big franchise.
Well, you got to get these old people in before they kick the bucket, you know. Sorry, I mean, I hate to be such a Debbie Downer
dude.
about it, but like, I mean, really, like what I tweeted today to you. What was it?
Yeah.
Harrison Ford will be
older than George Hall, right? Was that what it was?
Okay, yeah, he's in by 2020 he'll be 2 years older than old Indiana Jones was in the Indiana Jones Chronicles. So, I mean, I guess it's not about the age; it's about the wear and tear.
Oh man, you
You
just
know, he's
missed
gonna be, by the
perfect
time that
opportunity.
movie comes out, he's gonna be 78.
That's crazy,
dude.
So,
Oh my god, almost 80.
Wow.
yeah. So
Give him an eye
that's-
patch, man.
Hey, I mean, I've been saying it and everything. I mean, if they are going to do a reboot to have him in there, they need to do that like they did with that one episode where he was just, you know, he was there but doing the retelling of one of his adventures.
Just playing saxophone, off in the corner.
Yeah. There you go.
So, do you think this is going to be, the first of a few announcements, or do you think we'll get any other of the old characters, or are they just going to stick with Goldblum for now?
I don't No, because this was so sudden.
Yeah.
And Jurassic, and the thing about, and now they have an Alien Day, which is technically in starting in 30 minutes. They have an Alien Day now, but then they have you have the Star Wars Celebration. There's nothing for, I don't think there's anything for Jurassic Park.
Well, just entire month of June.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. That's right. They have the Jurassic June. I'm sorry.
Just a full month,
just a month. But I mean, I guess we gotta wait till June.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's possible.
More announcements then.
I mean, who knows? I feel like Jeff would be a special thing, and having just him would be perfect. But of course, adding the other ones would be amazing as well. What was I gonna ask? Oh,
I mean, adding people like Sam Neill and stuff would be too much, I think.
You think?
But go ahead. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Do you guys?
Yeah.
Chris,
I mean, look at the list that we've got already. I mean, aside from Chris Pratt and and Bryce, I mean, we've also got James Cromwell, Toby Jones, that are in there. They're pretty big names as it is. So I think that that's enough for now. I mean, if they were to get anybody else like Sam Neill or something like that, then that one would definitely have to be like a cameo. It would just be too much.
Yes.
For one movie.
And I think if you're going to bring back them all, you have to announce them all together. So announcing just Jeff Goldblum, I think that means it's just going to be him, really.
Yeah.
I guess what's dumbfounding me is why didn't they wait till June?
I don't know, man. They're not very, on the mark with their, timing. They just kind of do whatever. They don't really consider too much about the fans and all that, I don't think, but
because wow, what that really made my day.
It did. I mean, at like 10 o'clock at night, it made our day.
Yeah, well, I mean, it erased everything else that happened today, and that was it. That was
you see that news and you get hyped up, you get really pumped. But at the same time, I was wondering if you guys would have rather almost see him just pop up out of nowhere without any kind of speculation or knowledge that he was going to be in the movie. Would you have rather had that?
Wow.
Yeah, I kind of wish that they had maybe just kept it in there as like a secret thing. Because I love what they've been doing lately in that they're not giving out any information. Aside from like that one set shot that we got like last month of the girl looking at the dinosaur. Yeah, the skeleton for that and everything, like that's been perfect. But it's been like the helmet or like a small set piece or something like that. They're not giving any big details away, and I think that they're doing that right by not giving away the big information.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I mean, to be fair, they did do that with Jurassic World as well. I remember like not barely knowing anything except for the script. Like the script got leaked, right? Isn't that what happened?
All kinds of stuff got leaked. It just it really depended, because you could have known a lot about that movie or nothing. Like. I kind of went in between and knew a little bit, but not too much.
And I remember Colin getting really he was actually really upset about it.
Yeah.
He was like, I remember when movies he couldn't find anything out until they actually came out.
Mm-hmm. As far as what's been officially released so far, like you said, Chris, not much. You could know absolutely nothing about this movie.
Yes.
So far. And the stuff that has been leaked, there has been a lot, and I stay away from that stuff. We try to stay as spoiler-free as possible. It may come up at times, but we try to keep that out of our minds and here on the podcast.
Dirty leaking.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, this stuff is everywhere, and you have a hard time, not seeing it, because especially with Twitter and Instagram, people are just freely sharing all this stuff, and you come across stuff, and you're like, oh, I wish I didn't see that, and it's happened a lot for this second movie here, second movie, fifth movie, whatever you want to consider it, but, and it has been frustrating, but so far, I don't know anything about it, and I don't know what kind of role he'll have, and I do wish that he would have just popped up, and we could have all been, screaming in the theater. That would have been so exciting. There's been a lot of movies recently that have done that. Whether, it's stupidly enough as the Fast and Furious franchise or, any of the Marvel movies and stuff like that. It's always exciting to see this stuff happen on screen rather than, in the news.
Well, when you see Howard the Duck at the end of Guardians,
mm-hmm.
I mean, that, I flipped out when that happened.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I was just like, I was like, are you kidding me? I was like, that's great.
Yeah, the
It was
most
like-
random character that could possibly pop up.
Yeah, it was him and Crypto, which is a
Yeah.
and he's like just licking. It was a super intelligent dog, and he's just licking the collector's face, who is Benicio del Toro, who is also going to be in the new Star Wars movie, which I am freaking out about as well, because he is on my top 10 favorite actors as well. So, God, these people are working, and I am so hyped. I am so sorry. I'm freaking out right now because I keep thinking about things.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, that's a whole different story. I wonder what made him change his mind, because he was supposed to be Darth Maul originally, and he turned it down.
who Benicio del Toro?
Yeah.
Him flipping around like that? Huh.
Yeah, I can't imagine that
so.
ever.
I mean, but he'd be awesome. I mean, but then he'd be dead, and then what would he do? I heard he's an insane person. That he shows up and to castings and just sorry, we're going on a tangent, but he just goes to castings and he's like a method crazy person actor. But
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Anyway,
and then
so,
Jeff
go
Goldblum
ahead.
is literally just himself in all these roles.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He's gonna have a real hard time, because promoting, any of the upcoming movies, and just he's always around. He's performing in LA a lot with his band and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So he's gonna have a hard time locking it down and not talking about this and not, being poked and prodded by everybody, because it's gonna happen.
He's gonna have a hard time not being Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah. Well, I'm out of questions here and topics. Do you guys have anything else to wrap it up before we head off?
Probably a million other things, but I mean, we can cut it off here. That's fine. I'll just go on for days.
Yeah. Well, this has been awesome. I was excited and glad you guys could stop by here, last second and actually initiate it both yourselves.
You mean run a mile?
Yeah, run a mile to get to the podcast as quick as possible.
Yeah.
I'm going to go and edit this, but yeah, this is awesome. We wrote about it on our website, so go check that out. And where can we find you guys?
I'm on Facebook. It's Facebook Chris Lanam Photography, and then on Twitter it's Chris Lanam Photo.
Awesome.
All right. And yeah, you can find me on Twitter. It's at Jarrett. It's JURRUTT. I am currently working on a podcast called Work Smoothly right now. Brad was on it last week.
Yes.
And we had a great discussion. It's basically just an organic conversation, not even a podcast. It's going to be all kinds of different things, different formats. But you can find that. I'm getting the website started up, so I won't promote that yet. But you can find me, I think if you just go to Facebook and type in Work Smoothly, it should come up. It's just a simple little logo with a WS. And yeah, you can find me on YouTube. My YouTube is it's my YouTube's kind of hard to find a little bit. It's Jarrett spelled like the way I said, and Courtney, but Courtney is all he. Can I? You can just put it in the description.
I'll just put the link in. Let's just forget about it. I'll put the link in the description.
It's convoluted. I'm so sorry. And I'm sorry if I hijacked this podcast, because I am just freaking out right now. So.
Well, I don't know. Have a good time trying to get back to bed, guys, because I know I was half asleep, like I said, and we're all a little bit wired now, so we'll see what happens.
All right.
Cool. All right,
Thanks
man.
for having us.
All right, take it easy, guys.
All right, okay.
5 minutes. Drop what you're doing and leave now.